Main arterial supply of the face is by facial artery, hence it is called chief artery of the face. Now we discuss about the course of facial artery. It arises from the external carotid artery at the level of greater cornu of hyoid bone. It enters into the face by winding around at the lower border of mandible and at the anterior-inferior angle of the masseter muscle. Here it is the anterior-inferior angle of the masseter muscle. In face, artery passes tortuously. So what is the importance of tortuosity of the facial artery? So tortuosity of the facial artery prevents its wall from being unduly stretched during the movement of mandible, lips and cheeks. First, it ascends upward and lateral to the angle of mouth and then ascend along the side of nose. At the medial angle of the eye, where it is end by anastomosing with the dorsal nasal branch of the ophthalmic artery, which is the branch of internal carotid artery. So at the medial angle of eye, external carotid artery will anastomosis with the internal carotid artery. The terminal part of the facial artery is called angular artery. Now we discuss about the various branches of the facial artery. Inferior labial artery, which supplies the lower lip, superior labial artery, which supplies the upper lip, and lateral nasal artery, which supplies the ala of the nose and dorsum of the nose. These all three branches arise anteriorly. Muscular branch, which are very small and unnamed and arise from the posterior aspect of the facial artery. And at the end, pulsation of the facial artery. We can be felt pulsation on face at two sides. First, at the base of mandible, at the anterior-inferior angle of the masseter muscle. Second is at about 1.25 cm lateral to the angle of mouth. So it is all about the facial artery.
Transverse facial artery. It is small artery that arises from superficial temporal artery within the parotid gland. After emerging from parotid gland, it runs forward on masseter between the zygomatic arch and parotid duct. Artery accompanying the cutaneous nerve. They are small and usually go unnoticed, but some of them can be easily seen, namely infraorbital, buccal, and mentor. They all are derived from maxillary artery.
Venous drainage of face. Venous blood from the face is drained by two veins. First is facial vein and second is retromandibular vein. Facial vein, it is the largest vein of the face, formed by the union of supratrochlear and supraorbital vein. It runs backwards and downwards behind the facial artery and reaches the anterior-inferior angle of masseter. It pierces the deep fascia, crosses superficial to submandibular gland, and joins the anterior division of retromandibular vein to form common facial vein. Tributaries of facial vein correspond to the branches of facial artery. Now its deep connections. Venous, it communicates with the cavernous sinus through two routes. First is at the point of commencement. Facial vein communicates with superior ophthalmic vein and drain into the cavernous sinus.
As we can see here, deep facial vein is another branch of facial vein that connects it with the cavernous sinus. The deep facial vein joins with pterygoid venous plexus in the cheek region, and the pterygoid venous plexus further drains into the cavernous sinus. Another vein that drains the venous blood from face region is the retromandibular vein, which is formed by the union of superficial temporal vein and maxillary vein. These superficial temporal vein and maxillary vein unite within the parotid gland to form the retromandibular vein. After leaving the parotid gland, this retromandibular vein divides into anterior and posterior division. The anterior division unites with the facial vein to form the common facial vein, and the posterior division unites with posterior auricular vein to form the external jugular vein.
Lymphatic drainage of face. The face is divided into three lymphatic territories: upper territory, middle territory, and lower territory. Upper territory comprises of greater part of the forehead, later halves of the eyelids including conjunctiva, parotid area, and adjoining part of the cheek. The lymph from upper territory is drained into preauricular or superficial parotid lymph nodes. Middle territory, it comprises of central part of the forehead, medial halves of the eyelids, external nose, upper lip, lateral part of the lower lip, medial part of the cheek, and greater part of the lower jaw. Lymph from the middle territory is drained into submandibular lymph nodes. Lower territory, it comprises of central part of the lower lip and chin. Lymph from lower territory is drained into submental lymph nodes.
Dangerous area of face. Dangerous area of face, also known as dangerous triangle of face. It includes the area from the corners of the mouth to the bridge of the nose, including the nose, maxilla, and the cheeks up to some extent. This region is so called because the facial vein and its deep connecting veins which communicates this area are devoid of valves and rest directly on the muscles of facial expression. When these muscles contract, any infection present can be carried to the cavernous sinus through facial veins. Facial vein communicates the cavernous sinus via two tracts. One is via ophthalmic vein and the second one is the deep facial vein which joins cavernous sinus via pterygoid venous plexus. Squeezing the pustules or pimples in the area of upper lip or side of the nose or even the cheeks may cause infection which may be carried to the cavernous sinus leading to the thrombosis of cavernous sinus.